Have you ever stood in a room so silent it felt like the walls were holding their breath? That was my grandmother's funeral. Except no one was crying. No one even pretended to care. And in that suffocating silence, I did something reckless. I stood up and told the world a beautiful lie about the cruelest woman I had ever known. What I didn't know then was that lie would change my life forever. Her name was Clara Holloway, 86 years old, sharp as broken glass, and twice as dangerous. She had spent her life carving people open with words that left deeper scars than knives. My family hated her, but feared her money more. So when the casket was rolled into Riverside Chapel, everyone came dressed in black, not to mourn, but to make sure they weren't cut out of the will. I was the forgotten grandson. Daniel Ward, 28. A teacher with nothing to inherit. While my cousins clawed for Clara's approval, I stayed away. Because I'd learned early, getting close to her meant bleeding. From the front row, I watched my family squirm. Uncle Raymond stared at his shoes like they held the secrets of the universe. Aunt Lillian scrolled her phone, tapping the screen with nails that clicked like clock hands. The cousins? They avoided each other's eyes, waiting for someone else to play the dutiful child. The funeral director, pale and sweating, begged for a volunteer. "Perhaps a favorite memory?" he stammered. Silence. Not a single soul could muster kindness for the woman who had spent decades poisoning our bloodline. That's when my body betrayed me. I stood. "I'll speak," I said. Gasps rippled through the chapel. My aunt hissed, "Daniel, don't." But I walked to the podium anyway. I stared at the coffin, at the floral wreaths bought out of obligation, and realized the truth would burn the room down. So instead, I chose fire of a different kind. I lied. "My grandmother," I began, "taught me that love isn't always soft. Sometimes it's steel, forged in fire." Faces shifted. Eyebrows lifted. And just like that, I was spinning fiction, painting Clara as a woman who baked pies, told Depression-era stories, and whispered lessons about strength and kindness. Lies, every one of them. But the strangest thing happened. People believed. Neighbors dabbed their eyes. My uncle nodded as if remembering things that had never happened. Even my cousins softened, clinging to this rewritten version of Clara, a woman who had never existed. I gave her a dignity in death she had never shown in life. And when I stepped down, the room actually applauded. Applauded a ghost I had invented. At the graveside, I felt relief. Not grief, just relief that it was over. That's when a man in a charcoal suit approached me. Silver hair, sharp eyes. He introduced himself, Adrian Cole, my grandmother's attorney. "That was a remarkable eulogy," he said. There was a glint in his eye I couldn't place. And then he leaned closer. "Congratulations, Mr. Ward. You just passed Clara's final test." The next morning, in his office of mahogany and marble, Adrian told me what I could barely process. Clara had left everything to me. Her estate, her fortune, over $2 million. My jaw dropped. "She despised me," I whispered. Adrian shook his head. "She tested you. For 20 years, she tested everyone. They failed. You didn't." And then he handed me an envelope. Inside was a letter in Clara's spidery handwriting. It said, "Daniel, if you are reading this, it means you chose compassion over truth. I know I was cruel. I know I pushed people away. But you gave me kindness when I deserved none. That is the rarest gift of all. This fortune is not a reward. It is a reminder. Use it to be the man I never was." I sat there, trembling. For years, I thought she was a monster. But maybe she was just a broken woman, desperate to know if love could survive her cruelty. And I, the grandson who had nothing, was the only one who proved it could. So tell me, if someone you loved had hurt you your whole life, could you still stand at their grave and give them kindness?